What did your crush do that absolutely killed your interest? Bragged about drinking and driving. He told me that he and his friends have a Offing Under 100 club, where they drink and then drive on the interstate going 100 plus mph and have to send a full-length Snapchat video of the speedometer to each other. 2 of my friends had been killed by a drunk driver 3 months prior. Revealed his list of conquests. Not even my brother knows how many women I've slept with. Then he offered to take my virginity in the back of his pickup truck. I passed. She asked if things didn't work out if I would mind if she went out with my roommate. I said I could and possibly do that to him and left. He talked about how he and his friends used to abuse farm cats. They talked about one that was buried and then run over. I did a quick 180 and absolutely hated him. We were teenagers, he lived in a different province, and we used to chat on Skype. He wanted me to think he was a das or something and would always talk about his drug use. He ended up faking a heroin overdose when we were on chat together. I was hysterically crying and freaking out thinking I was watching someone dying and was trying to figure out how to call 911 inches another province when he napped out of it and told me he was actually okay. I didn't talk to him much after that. Huge crush on a fellow uni student. I was invited over for what I expected to be a platonic study date, but hey, any time spent is better than just being alone, or so I thought. Got there and found another student from class also. Okay, study group? Turns out her mom and her set us up for a full press MLM pitch. Video, literature, the works. I stayed a bit not to be rude, excused myself shortly, and only talked to her in class just in passing from then on. Huge letdown. Edit, MLM means multi-level marketing, aka a pyramid scheme signing up to both buy and sell something, while recruiting others to sell also. You get a % of all of your recruit sales also. All the percentages basically flow upward, so the only way to make any significant money is to be high in the tree towards the top of the pyramid. It all bullshit, basically. Stole from a homeless person. We were walking together downtown and she saw a bucket of coins in front of a pharmacy. She just scooped it all up and kept walking. Guy comes out as she's 20 feet away or so and yells at her. She keeps moving. I stood there and just gave him a $20 and didn't hang out with her anymore. We were 14 and 15. His sister actually approached me and let me know that he was once arrested for locking their other pregnant sister in their basement, went on a coke binge while she desperately tried to get out, and went outside to beat their unsuspecting neighbor's van with a golf club. That was a big ol' nope. I've been talking to a guy online for a while now. In the past few days, our conversation has jumped from a dating app to texting to phone calls the last few nights. We were really hitting it off on the phone both nights, but he was drinking while talking to me and each night he got more repetitive and emotional as the conversation went on. The conversation then went off the rails and he seemed angry with me for some unknown reason and hung up. The first night it happened, I gave him the benefit of the doubt because we all accidentally drank too much sometimes and acted a fool. But 2 nights in a row? Yeah. Any attraction I was developing is gone. I'm not interested in dating an abusive drunk. Had a crush on this girl back in high school. She seemed like a sweet girl. After she rejected me I let it go but still was interested in maintaining some sort of friendship. Found out she was actually pretty toxic behind my back. She made fun of me for a lot of things that really didn't matter, like hand motions while talking, and I just lost interest in her entirely, even in a friendship. We worked together and as I got to know him more I learned he talked badly about everyone. Nurses that are amazing he'd belittle, talk about how certain people don't know what they're doing because they asked for an ultrasound IV as they were struggling getting a vein on a heroin addict. The paramedics was worthless, doctors don't know what they're doing, who he thought was hooking up, and it completely turned me off. He's in his early 40s and into gossip more than my teenage daughter. He picked me up for our first date and his car was disgusting. Not talking a few trash items, The entire backseat and floorboard was completely covered in piled up trash, even up front. I had to step on empty McDonald's bags, old soda bottles, wrappers to even get in. And all he said was, "Just move it around with your feet." No sorry or anything. Made me feel like trash too. Like dang, couldn't even clean up a little? Basically shut me down and made it clear to me that I was being the typical ice guy cliché. This is back when I was about 20. After a couple of days of sulking, I started examining my behavior and realized she was absolutely right. Glad it happened. My ideas of how a relationship should work were entirely twisted at the time. I got my shit together shortly after, addressed my stupid and entitled behavior, worked on myself mentally and physically, and eventually met an amazing woman who is now my wife. Scary to look back and think how close I got to becoming one of those incel neckbeard types. She invited me over to her place not as a date thing, but just to hang out as friends. Her house was absolutely filthy and the glass of Coke she gave me had a hair in it. She was really cute, had a great personality, and was a genuinely nice person, but as soon as I saw cat shit on the floor near the front door and just dirty everything, my crush disappeared and I left in a hurry. Dude was the perfect epitome of the term douka bag. He used to be nice to people only to gain their trust and then betray them. He was attractive though and a smooth talker as well. We started talking, became friends, and I developed a crush on him. Unfortunately, I never knew then what type of double-headed snake he was. Then on one day I witnessed him throwing his best friend under the bus just to save his reputation. Completely lost interest, cut ties with him, and he gave no shit about it. Only then did I realize how toxic people can be sometimes. Edit, grammar. He didn't believe in dinosaurs. One of those super religious types, and someone got into a conversation with him about dinosaurs and he was absolutely convinced that dinosaur bones were put there by the devil to trick us. As a firm lover of dinosaurs, as soon as I heard that, any and all attraction disappeared. My 18-year-old self thought it would be cute to invite him to a Christmas parade, but this dude had the audacity to ask me why I thought he would ever be interested in someone like me. When I was a teenager we worked together as lifeguards. I adored him so much until one day he just starts talking about this random woman that he didn't know and wasn't even there that was wearing shorts. He said he was fine until she sat down and had some cellulite on her thighs. And he kept being angry and talking about how she should be doing squats to be more appealing. Like, his rant was angry and long and no one was adding to his conversation. Just silence. After that I took off my rose-colored glasses and saw that he was, in fact, a huge douka bag. I'm kinda grateful he showed himself that way, cause I was really into him until then. Could have been a bad time for my teenage brain. Bouncer at a bar I used to go to. I had a mad crush on him. He was beautiful. He was a bit of a tart. Every night some starry-eyed equally beautiful woman would leave with him. Being a bit of a tart was not a deal breaker for me. I was too back then, if not as successful as him, as I'm not a super pretty girl. But one night I guess he left shit too late, the hot girls were gone and he informed me that he was willing to take me home that night. No. Nothing less sexy than that'll do, pig. Being treated like a sure thing, and of course the answer is gonna be yes, because how would someone like Emmy turn down someone like him? Treated me like shit for being the only female in our paintball team. He said that women belong to kitchen, not battlefield. Edit, I never, though the worst memory of my life will bring me the most karma out of everything I've ever posted, thanks. I kinda hope he has read it and find it now. Edit 2, guys, I made a mistake. He didn't say battlefield. We are Polish. He said something that cannot be translated perfectly, so I just captured the idea. The word battlefield is mine, I didn't know how to call it in English. Now I know it's a field. Sorry. In college, I was crazy about a girl named Megan. She was maybe 2 years younger than me, blonde, life of the party type gal. Took her to dinner and chatted her up about her life. Got to talking about past SOs and realized she had very little experience with meaningful, loving relationships. Romantically, it seemed she was on autopilot. In fact, the more we talked, the more obvious it became that she was and ready to love anyone but herself, which, y'all know, good for her. Self-love and self-discovery are kind of big parts of going away to college and growing up, but I realized in that moment that what I wanted versus what she wanted were miles apart. It was a crystallizing moment, and I felt the distance between us widen and watched her shrink away. Never asked her out again, and she never asked why. Either she felt it, too, or autopilot just kicked in, or she just was and interested. You have been visited by Dr. Doggo. Like to stay healthy.